What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing okay. Now, today I wanted to discuss the importance of not allowing the news and not allowing social media to take you away from your own life. Now, for those of you that would have seen my last video talking about the recent very sad news about the murder of Charlie Kirk, you'd know that that's not really something that I talk about, but it's a piece of news and a headline that really hit me. A young father losing his life. A wife that now has to go forward without her husband, children that have to go forward without their dad. Very difficult. And it touched me, so I made a video on it. But it made me think that you can go down a rabbit hole with these things. You can really get yourself immersed within news, within a particular headline, within a particular story. So much so that it actually goes against you. It actually works against your life, your progress, your results, because you're so immersed in something that has no impact on your day-to-day life. You might find it shocking, you might find it intriguing, whatever news it is. It could be funny news, it could be silly news, maybe your favorite influencer's done this thing or that thing, but ultimately, when it comes down to it, and you look at it for what it is, it has no impact on your life in a positive way. You're just wasting your time. Try and use social media as a tool to help your life. Maybe you want to create content, you want to improve the way that you speak, or even you want to help others, right? But don't allow social media to use you. Don't allow the news channels to control how you feel. Don't get me wrong, there are particular stories that sting. Some of the stuff that's going on in the Middle East right now stings. It's horrible to see. But what I'm talking about here is the day-to-day. This celebrity doing this particular thing, these celebrities collaborating together. Yeah, you can look at it, you can give it some attention, but don't allow this stuff to consume your life. It's just going to slow you down. And your competition, people that have the same goals as you and people that want the same things as you, maybe there's some of those guys who just aren't wasting their time online like you are. Maybe they're not caring what this celebrity said or what that celebrity did. They're just focusing on themselves. This is something I have to remind myself of. I'm not talking from a position of somebody who's mastered this. I very much try and use social media only really for my own benefit, or keeping myself updated with things that are going on in the world that may be relevant or good to know. It's not good to be ill-informed at the same time. But I suppose it is good to be ill-informed on what this particular influencer is doing, or that particular influencer. You don't want to be sat at the Christmas table for dinner, where you've got your entire family and your 10-year-old cousins, and you can have a conversation with your 10-year-old cousin about the brain rot that's online at the moment. You don't want to be able to relate with your little cousin. It's not like you don't want to be friendly with your little cousin, but you don't want to be talking on the same wavelength as a child, right? Because you're a man now, you're an adult now. You need to be doing adult stuff. And a big part of being an adult, especially an ambitious adult, is taking yourself away from distractions. So you shouldn't know, really, what iShowSpeed is doing or what Logan Paul's doing on a day-to-day basis. Not because you're trying not to know, but because you're too busy to know. It's not a rejection. It's just that you're not dedicating that amount of time to knowing about that stuff. You're too busy focusing on your health, your wealth, your personal skills. maybe learning some coding, maybe learning a new language, maybe learning an instrument. You're too busy doing things that are going to level you up. Again, there is some news that you've got to keep up with. It's really not good to be ill-informed, especially if we go back to that Christmas dinner table. And people are talking about serious issues within the country right now. You also don't want to be the guy who just doesn't have a clue, or he's too relaxed. Oh, I don't care about all that stuff, because you can come across as insensitive, obviously ill-informed, but maybe a little bit stupid as well. And that's not a good look. You know, when there's bad stuff going on in the country, it's good to have an idea about what's going on. So although maybe you might not find politics exciting, although maybe you might think they're all liars, they are. It is still good to keep yourself somewhat in the loop. But as I said, with all the silly stuff, with all the memes and brain rot, try and keep yourself away from that, because it distracts you. It actually slows your brain down. And it allows fog to drift into your mind. It allows you to procrastinate, get lazy, become unambitious. I would implore you guys to take a break from social media. I took a very long break from social media. I actually permanently deleted every single social media account that I had. I believe for at least 6 months, maybe a year or something like that. And I was a different guy on the other side. Honestly, you realize what's important and what's not. There are people who want the same things that you want with no social media. They're working harder than you and they're distracted less than you. Why don't you try it for a little bit? I'm not saying cut off friends and family. You know, if they're your real friends, you can get on WhatsApp, you can iMessage them, you can keep in touch with them that way. But get off the Instagram for a while, get off the TikTok for a while, get off the Snapchat for a while. Your life will change, and often. And what I realized as well is that you have a lot more free time than you think you do. You're just right now using your time on platforms that are very unproductive and distracting. And you're creating the illusion that you are busy by engaging in this content, but in actuality you are not busy. You are wasting your time, and you are wasting your time on content that isn't particularly useful in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't really enhance your life in any way. So again, you want to find a balance here, guys. You don't want to be the guy who just doesn't know what's going on in the world at all, completely uneducated and ill-informed. It can come across as quite obnoxious, and you can look a little bit stupid as well at times. So be aware of what's going on, but just be aware of the right stuff. You don't want to be knowing what is going on in the brain rot world with all this rubbish and memes and stuff. Like, you can relate to your 10-year-old cousin at the dinner table. He's 10. Of course he's watching that stuff. You're in your 20s. You know, you're in your 30s, or however old you are, you know, you're a man. Come on. Let's get real here, all right? So yeah, you don't want to be finding yourself being completely ill-informed, but at the same time, you don't want to be overly informed about the wrong type of stuff. You must find a balance in between. And that, I think, when you find that balance, is the perfect state of being online within social media. Because look, if you don't use social media, honestly, you are at a bit of a disadvantage. I don't like to consume social media. I like to produce on social media. Do I consume on social media? Absolutely, yes. I try and keep up to date with the news. Do I like that I do? No. However, am I watching more than not stuff that is going to actually keep me informed and help me? Yes. I mean, we all like to think we are, right? But would I say that I'm confident that I'm not watching too much brain rot and silly content? Absolutely. Absolutely. And as I say, I think with the way that things are going currently, social media is becoming more entrenched within our lives on a day-to-day basis. So you don't want to find yourself at a disadvantage not using it at all. At the same time, you don't want to find yourself at a disadvantage becoming brain rotted. So be the guy who's in the middle. Be the guy who can use it, but use it effectively and use it as a tool to grow. Not as a vice that has a hold on him, you know? Control your use of social media. Don't allow social media to control you. Look, guys, I hope you took some value from this video today. If you did, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel for much more from me, and comment your thoughts down below. If you are interested, I run a free men's Discord community. I'm going to leave the link right down below in the description of this video. Click the link, join us. There's over 25 guys in there right now making great changes both personally and professionally. And look, if you want to hop on a one-to-one call with me, the link is also down below in the description of this video. Simply click the link, book yourself a slot, and I will see you on the other side. As always, guys, thank you for your time and your attention, and I will see you in the next one.